Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey, yo.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the show that always posts regularly.
Yes. So you guys always know when we're gonna post. It's never a surprise.
Yeah, and it happens on time every week, on the same day at the same time, and we never skip weeks ever.
Facts. Very true.
How's your week been?
My week, honestly, I've been very busy. I've mostly just been working, which I don't mind. I like working. But like nothing crazy has happened this week. Uh, oh, fun fact. I don't know if I even told you this, but last Saturday, the guy that I'm dating, he was working like the road stuff for a music festival that was like near me, and he got me like VIP guest list on the music festival. So we went like backstage and like yeah, it was crazy. It was mostly EDM though, so I didn't really care for the artist.
Oh, I was just
But
about to
like
ask like who was
no,
playing.
there was some indie people. There was like there's band called like Mustard Service. Oh, Princess Nokia was there. I
Oh my
saw her.
God.
Yeah, and then who else? This girl Jordana. She's a musician. She's like an indie musician. She's really good. Trying to think of who else, but like there were some people. It was fun though. So that was like probably the most interesting thing. Then I went to the fair the next day,
That's
and then
cool.
because I've been wanting to go to the fair, and it was the
Yeah.
last day of the fair, so I finally went, and I got some fried Oreos, and I was happy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's all
God.
I wanted was the fried Oreos.
No, I get you.
Yeah.
I
How about you? How was your week?
My week was dookie straight from the booty hole.
Yeah.
Um just like absolute dookie. Um I've been having a tough time lately. It's been a little rough. My coworker back at it again with the
No,
antagonizing. Except this time I kind of snapped at her because
as you should.
I was really not in the mood. And
Yeah.
I held my tongue a lot too. Like that job has taught me a lot about restraint. And I've held my tongue a lot there. And but it's just frustrating because it's like I'm a 23-year-old, my brain isn't even fully developed yet. I'm still a kid in my head. Like I have a lot of growing up to do, and this lady is like twice my age, okay? Like at least. And the fact that I'm always the one that ends up having to be like the professional one, the adult one, the mature one, like it sucks
Yeah.
because like she is so combative, she's so defensive, she's so like, and she antagonizes me, she antagonizes everyone, and she was getting on everyone's nerves. And so what had happened was that like someone was like purchasing an item from us because like I've gone over this so many times, but like we do like memberships for like a special food and wine club. And but we also have like merch items, quote unquote. So there's like we have like presentation plates and just items that you can get, and you can like they can like repurchase the like regalia and stuff like that. So this guy was repurchasing some form of like the regalia and this like pouch to hold that in. And so I went into our system and I went under his like account and I made an order for this the same way I've made it for the past year. Oh, also I hit a year at my current job because I started March 1st.
Ooh,
So, but so I've done it the same way like for a
a
year.
year.
And the way I do it is like I go into their like it's like a subscription page and I create a new order through that. But I guess like the order that it creates is like a renewal order, quote unquote, which is supposed to just be for like repaying the membership.
Mm.
But I just use it for all orders because like I don't because there's separate pages for these things and there's an orders page and a subscription page and all that kind of stuff. I don't really frequent the orders page because that's not really like part of my job. Um, and all I handle when it comes to payments, I can do right through someone's like account. So I don't go there all the time. so I never really see this like add order button.
Mm.
Because it's just like it's like extra steps that I don't need to do. So, but every time I've like created an order that was like someone buying an item rather than like repaying their membership, I've always clicked the other button. It was like create pending renewal order. That's just like how I've always done it, and no one said anything to me otherwise.
Mm.
So the other day, my ear's itchy. The other day, um my coworker that antagonizes me, she comes stomping into my office because I had created the order, and I swear to God, not 1 second later, I go to click on the order to process it and everything to get it all ready, and she's in there already. Like I literally had just clicked submit and she was already in there. And
Oh
I
my
was like, what
God.
the fuck? But she comes stomping. I kicked her out of it because we could do that. And I was like doing the order. And she comes stomping into my office and she's like, "Are you renewing him?" And I was like, "No." And she was like, "Oh," because and then she said something about how these were like there were like these two members that she was working with or whatever, and she couldn't remember their names, whatever. Doesn't matter. And I was like, "No, he's like buying this and this and that." And so she immediately like starts coming at me about it and like telling me that I'm doing it wrong and how like I did it right the first time around, but the past 2 months I've been doing it wrong, which is like incorrect. I was like, what are you talking about? And I was already in a mood. Okay. Like I was already in a mood.
Yeah.
And so she says that and she's like, no, you started doing this the last 2 months. You did it right before. And I was like, what are you talking about? This is how I've always done it. Like I was getting like frustrated. And but she kept like repeating that and telling me like every time I said something like this is how I've always done it, she would always say no. Like she'd always be like, "No, you did this and this and that." And I was like, "Don't tell me like what I did. Like I know what I did because like I've done it the same way for the past
Yeah.
year." And so I said that and I kept saying that. And then at some point, like I just sit back and I was like, fine, I'll delete it. And she's like, well, no. And I was like, what the fuck do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? And so then I looked at her. I was like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? And she was like, well, and I was like, because
You
you
left
can't
her
just like
gagged.
I gagged her a bit, but you can't just like come into my office and like fight me and then like not tell me what the fuck you want me to do to fix it. Do you
No,
want me
she
to
just
delete the
came in there
order?
to yell at you. You
She
know
just came
that.
in
Yeah,
there to
she
repeat the
literally,
same shit over and over
like,
again.
it's so stupid when someone comes to you with a concern, quote unquote, but then they don't
Yeah.
have a solution
And it sucks
or tell
because
you
it's
what
like
they want.
I've literally been there a year and I've done it the same way. If I was not doing
Mhm.
it right, someone should have fucking mentioned it to me in the
Right.
first
Well,
place.
is this lady a superior of yours or is
No,
she
she's
just a
not.
different
She's neither
department,
above
right?
nor below
That's what I'm
me.
saying. So she has no right to tell you anything.
No, but she
Like you
thinks she's
actually
like,
shouldn't listen to anything she says because
I
only your
don't.
superiors can like,
I
yeah,
literally
no,
don't.
yeah. So
She
yeah.
has no jurisdiction to give me things to do. She has no jurisdiction to like tell me to do things certain ways. She has no
Yeah.
jurisdiction over me. I do not answer to
Because
her.
you guys are a totally different department.
Yeah. There's five of us in our office and she's the financial person. And if I want to, if she asks me to do something, I can do it for her. Will I? No, because literally fuck her. I don't care.
Yeah.
And so, like before in the beginning, if she gave me things to do, I would just do it because I assumed that I had to, and that was that. And then after some point, I found out that she was like not my superior. So I was like, oh, well, fuck that. I'm not going to do that then. I don't have the time to do that. And so now
Yeah.
she like fully hates me. But because I told her no, I
Crazy.
can't. She gave me something to do that she was given to do, and like it was not my job.
Yeah, she was
And
just trying to put it on you.
yeah, she was just trying to put it on me because she assumed that I don't have anything to do when that is literally not true. She just like doesn't know what I do. But
Right.
there's a fly in my room and it keeps flying in front of me. But
No.
yeah, so it's like she always does that. She just comes into my office and she just like tells me I'm doing things wrong and like just talks. And I just got so tired of it. I was like, what the fuck do you want from me? What do you want me to do?
Mhm.
What do you want me to do? And I
And
just
she
kept
had
saying,
no answer.
Yeah, like I was like, I've done this the same way for a year. When was someone gonna tell?
Literally.
She was like, well, no, you have to do it. You have to go here. You have to click this. You have to do that. And I was like, when were you going to tell me this? I
Mm.
looked her right in the eye. I was like, when were you going to tell me this? When was anyone going to tell me this? Because I've been doing it the same way a year and no one said anything to me. So when was this going to be said to me?
And then what'd she say?
Well, she just kept telling me, no, I've been doing it right until the last few months. What are you talking about?
If anything, maybe they changed the website.
No, they didn't. She
No?
is just like talking out of her ass.
Yeah, she's weird.
She was literally gaslighting me.
Yeah.
She was like, no, you didn't. Like, no,
Dude, I
I was
can't,
like,
she
what are you talking
sounds
about?
so unbearable. I can't.
And then the phone rang
Mm-hmm.
and that was the end of the conversation. I picked up the phone. I was like, this is Dana, like really loud and in her face, aka get the fuck out of my office.
Mm-hmm.
And so then she stomped away. And then my superior came out and she was like, what the hell is your problem? And this lady, not to me, to the other
Yeah.
lady, and this lady immediately starts like bashing me, complaining about me, whatever the hell she said. I couldn't hear, I was on the phone. And the lady was like, well, what do you expect when you just stomp in there and start yelling at her? You can't just stomp in there and immediately start attacking her over something.
Mm-hmm. That's
And so,
crazy. I'm
yeah,
sorry you have to deal with that. Like, that is
it was
so.
so frustrating. And like,
Is she
I
there
was
like
just,
every time you're there?
yeah, she's there every day.
Every day?
Except some days this week, like today and Wednesday, she wasn't in for whatever reason.
Must have been quiet.
Or Thursday. Oh, yeah, it was so serene.
Yeah.
I was so like relaxed
You
and
know,
like
I'm surprised they haven't fired her when you told me that multiple people have complained about her.
it's because my boss is a pussy.
Okay.
That's the
Honestly,
short
I feel
answer.
like, and is it a male boss?
Yeah.
I feel like most male bosses are very like, I don't know, like
He's like
pushovers.
he has been we like they have been complaining about her, both members and my coworkers, since
Yeah.
before I got there. She
Mm.
is like constantly disruptive. She's constantly like she has this like I idea, this delusional idea of like how things are, and she thinks she's like the greatest. She thinks she's like God's gift to the fucking
Oh my
office.
God.
You know, you could
Jeez.
say she's living in hypotheticals,
Maybe.
which happens to be today's topic.
Exactly.
Segue.
Segue. Hypotheticals. Man,
Hypotheticals.
my head is full of them. Every situation I come upon, I think of like every hypothetical situation to come with it, like
Yes.
outcome, everything. Like I lie in bed like before, like when I'm going to sleep, and I just like think of things that aren't real. They could be delusions or whatever, but they're just like hypothetical situations. Like I think of every single outcome, and that I feel like it makes me psychic and intuitive because I already thought of every single possible outcome.
Well, some people call that intuition and psychic abilities, and other
Yeah.
people call that anxiety.
Yes.
No, but like some people call that OCD.
Yeah.
Um, I do that.
Mm-hmm. I know
I
we
do
both
that.
do that.
We both do that. I'm literally before something, I'm always thinking about like the 15 ways it could go.
Yep.
And I'm always like I always get myself worked up over things that like haven't even happened yet. So it's like if I'm about to do something or go somewhere, I'm like, oh my God, what if this and that goes wrong? And then
Exactly.
and then all of a sudden I'm like freaked out because of something that might happen.
And then you're paranoid,
Yeah, oh
right?
my God. I have bad paranoia.
Me too.
Of course, it's like I'm actually able to function like a human being and like do things and experience because I take medication now. But before it was like I would literally make myself feel sick.
Thinking about what could happen.
Exactly. And it's like so now I am medicated for such an issue. But
Do you still
yeah.
find yourself though thinking of hypotheticals? Or
Oh,
just less
absolutely.
frequently?
I do, but it's like it's not that it's less frequent.
It's just like less
It's less
anxiety
taxing
inducing.
on me.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't take it all out of me the same way that it used to. Before it was
Mm.
like obsessive. Like hence
Right.
why I got diagnosed with OCD. But it was like it was obsessive. Like I would literally obsess over things that like were just a possibility, and it was like ridiculous. And I literally could not live. Like I had 2 sessions with my therapist, and then on the second one, she's like, "We're gonna get you that psych eval because you need some medication. This is ridiculous." Because she was trying to go into it to like teach me how to manage it, but then she was like, "Oh, this is like unmanageable right now. You need some help to get it to a point where you can manage it." So now I'm at a
Right.
point where it's like, yes, I do think about the different possibilities of an event. If I'm like going to a concert or going to a restaurant or meeting up with friends or whatever it is, taking a flight, going on a trip. Yes, I do think of like what could possibly happen and how things could go, but it's not as like detrimental to my health and well-being as it used
Right.
to. But the only negative hypotheticals aren't the only hypotheticals. Some are positive,
Yes.
some are hopeful, optimistic. Some might
Yeah.
call them delusional. I call them
Manifestations.
intuitive. Exactly. Manifestations. Because
Those are
manifestation,
also hypothetical
yes,
situations.
hypothetical situations you want to happen.
Yeah.
And I do believe in manifestation. I do think there is some truth to it.
Yeah, I think
Do
so
I think
too.
do I think you could like, well, I do, but like I really feel like it kind of ties into like the law of attraction, like
Yeah.
if you want love to come into your life, you should put a lot of love out into the world
Yeah.
so that it's like the universe kind of pays you back tenfold.
Yeah.
But like, or if you want happiness in your life, or if you want like peace and serenity, then you should, you know, um like try to exude that in everything that you do, be kind to people and
Dang, your
say please and
coworker
thank
must be
them.
having some shit happen to her because she does not
Yeah,
exclude any of that.
I don't know. She's like, I don't know what, but the thing is that like, I don't like, okay, I do like, okay, whatever it is, like, I don't, I do respect her as a person, you know. She is like, she does get what she needs to get done.
Okay.
Um,
That's good, but she
and
shouldn't act like a bitch.
exactly. And the thing is that like, I don't like hate her, okay?
Well, are
She's
you sure?
hate is a very strong
Strong
word.
word.
And I don't really know her enough to hate her.
I guess,
Um,
yeah.
and she's not a bad person. She's just mean, And those are two different things. Like there are bad people, and then there's just people who are mean sometimes. And it's like she she is like
Is she in the
very
middle?
yeah. I wouldn't say she's a bad person, but she's just a very difficult person.
Okay.
And she just, I don't know what it is that I did to her that she has decided that I am her arch nemesis, but she has decided that. And like she could have whatever going on in her personal life, that is none of my business. But I have a lot going on in my personal life too.
But
And
you
my
don't take it out
coworkers,
on your coworkers.
exactly, that's exactly where
That is such
I'm
a
going
weird
with
thing to
that.
do. Like,
Exactly. Like my coworkers also have things going on in their lives. They have mental
yeah,
health issues. They have actual health issues. They have familial issues. They have this, they have that. But they don't come into work and make it everyone's problem. Like the past couple of weeks, I've been really battling like depressive episodes and just like I've been really struggling. But when I come to work, am I quiet because of it? Yes, but I'm not like stomping into people's offices and critiquing every single thing that they do and complaining about every single breath that they take. Like I'm not making it everyone else's problem. I'm not using that to like hurt people.
right,
What if she's going through anything? I don't even know if she's going through anything. She could like not be going through anything at all and is just coming to work and deciding that she hates me. But it's like if she's going through something and she comes into work and like decides like I'm mad at XYZ, but I'm going to take it out on my coworker for no fucking reason, then that's wrong, you
Yeah.
know? Then like and also she has like her own delusional idea of like everyone in the office. Like she thinks I literally have it out for her, which is like really stupid because I
Maybe
just come
she has
into work,
hypotheticals too, man. Maybe she's got the,
like who knows?
paranoid
Her
hypotheticals.
delusions going on, living in her
Yeah.
own little head. But enough about her
Yeah.
because I don't want to manifest negativity in my life by talking about it.
Exactly.
Because she
Exactly.
wasn't in today and it was so nice.
I
It was
bet.
so nice and quiet.
Yeah.
No pacing. Oh, it was so
No quick
wonderful.
clacking of the shoes.
Exactly. I just sat in my office. I actually got a lot done today. And
That's
it's
good.
sad because like we always talk about how like when she's not there, we always get more done than when she is.
Yeah, because
But
when you're in a tense environment, it's harder
yeah,
to
it's
stay
really
focused
hard to
and
focus and like you
yeah,
get like freaked out and stuff like that.
yeah.
But yeah, so I have been really leaning into the hypotheticals, the delusions, the manifestations. I'm always writing them down in my journal, you know, like and
Yes.
when I write them down in my journal, I like to focus on like the good things because I would always focus on the bad things and I was always thinking and hypothesizing about like how that every which way that something can go wrong
Mm-hmm.
and every which way I could be upset.
Yeah.
And it was like it kind of makes you lose sight of like the possibilities of good things. So if I'm like particularly nervous about something, I try to, sit back and remind myself of all the ways it could go good, because like in my head, it is like a 50-50 chance, Let's say you're going on a date and you're like, oh my God, like what if I, talk with my mouth full? What if I get this in my teeth? What if, I burp when I don't, you think of like all the things that can embarrass you, but like
Yeah.
what if, what if you're wearing a color that the person that you're going on the date likes? Or what if your perfume is like one of their favorite scents? You
Yeah.
like what it like the what ifs are
Yeah, you can
hard
think of
because
like positive ones instead of negative ones.
exactly. And it's like
I
the
need to
negative
do that
ones,
more often.
yeah, and it's like it's not like drowning out the negative ones,
Yeah, I mean, it's
because
good to
things
have
are going to
a
happen.
balance of both because when you have the negative
Exactly.
ones too, you're prepared for anything. So if that
Hmm.
something does go wrong, I feel like it eases it a little bit. For
Yeah.
me, like sometimes I get too deep in my hypotheticals. Like I will sit
Yeah.
in my room and like actually deeply think about them. And it's like I get upset and like I had this hypothetical the other day about the guy I'm dating. I'm like, oh my God, what if he cheats on me? And then I went in the whole storyline in my head of him like cheating on me. And then I cried, I got upset about it. And then, once it was over, I'm like, that wasn't real. Like that was literally in my head. Like, and I'm upset about it. And then I was mad at him.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's like tough because it's like then you get into those spaces where it's like you think about how like your friend can upset you or how
Yeah,
your
yeah.
boyfriend can upset you or how your girlfriend can whatever, how your
Mhm.
family can upset you. And then you see them and you're like pissed off at them for
Yep.
something they didn't even
And they don't
do.
know why. No, that's
And
real.
that's hard. That's bad. And then it's like my coworker, like it's like she made up a reason to be mad at me for and then,
No, it probably is
she
that.
was.
It's just like a little like too much of a hypothetical or delusion.
Exactly.
But
And
yeah.
it's like you kind of get so far into it that now you're like angry and taking it out on someone and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
"What the fuck did I do?" Like and
Exactly.
they didn't even do anything. It
Yeah.
was their fake persona. See, I have that but like positive things. So
Give me
it's
some of
like
the
I'll think about like, you know, um all the different ways, just like I don't know, I like hype up experiences that I'm gonna have. So it's like if I'm go- going out to dinner with a friend, sometimes I'll be like, oh my God, what if, you know, some like I don't know, some attractive person is in the restaurant and sees me and is like, oh my God, and then I'm imagining like this whole storyline of them coming up to the table and like all that kind of shit. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So I think about that a lot. Which would probably be more like a fantasy.
Yeah. But
Um,
still, I feel like it's the same realm, like
it
hypotheticals,
is,
delusions,
and you get so
fantasies,
caught up in it, and then it's like that can also kind of shoot you in the foot because then it's like you go and then you're like expecting it to happen, and you're like,
and then it doesn't, and you're
and then
like,
it
there's a
doesn't.
bit of disappointment there.
Yeah, because then you're like, what the fuck? And you get upset. And
Yeah.
it's like,
It's kind of crazy how hypotheticals can like cause you to be disappointed or save you from disappointment.
exactly.
It's kind of crazy. There's two sides to it. It's a little coin moment.
A little coin,
A little flip of the
break it,
coin.
a little flip of the coin. But it's like you break your own heart, you know?
Yeah. Oh,
Because you like expect something from an experience. And then when it doesn't
yeah.
happen, which is normal, you know, like
Yeah. Because
then
it's
you're
good
like,
to not have expectations on things.
exactly.
Just
And it's
ride
like,
with what happens.
yeah. And it's like something doesn't meet your expectations. And then you kind of get like disappointed, but then you also feel stupid because you're like, well, it's kind of on me for putting too much pressure on this experience. Because
Exactly.
like, because then you kind of get into a point where you realize like, no, this experience was exactly what it was supposed to be. I just kind of
Yeah.
like worked it up in my head. And it's like I've been in that situation and it's frustrating because then you're like, why am I upset? Like I just kind of hurt my own feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what the hell? And you just try to all you can do is really just salvage the moment.
Yeah.
But
Because things happen as they happen.
yeah, things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And it's like if you have a moment where you're like, oh my God, this is when XYZ is going to happen, and that doesn't happen, that doesn't mean that
It's never gonna
it will
happen. It could
never happen.
happen
It
later
just
on.
means that that was not when it was supposed to
That was not the
happen.
timing.
Exactly. So it's like still hold out hope, you know, and what I can say that has been proven time and time again is that like when you stop looking for it, it finds you. You know, especially
Exactly.
talking about manifestations. Like how many times do people talk about how like they want a boyfriend so bad and then they decide January 1st of a new year, they're like, no, I'm going to focus on myself. A weekend, they've got like three people, you know, knocking on their door, like, hey, I want to
Well,
take you out.
low key, that can happen to me. Like in December, I'm
Exactly.
like, I'm done. I'm done with dating. I'm never ever again. January 1st, met the
And
guy
then
I'm
you,
dating, and now things are
yeah,
getting serious. So it's like
exactly.
it when
And
you
he's
stop
like,
focusing on things, it's like it comes to you. And
yeah,
I think sometimes with me, manifestations are very delayed. Like I'll be really focused
yes.
on them for a very long time, and then I kind of give up on them. Not give up, but I'm like, you know what, let me move on from doing this. And then later down the road, maybe like a couple weeks, sometimes months, it my manifestation is there.
Yeah. Like for me, I've noticed that like I I will manifest things and then it's like at some point I have a period where I'm like, you know, hopeless and I'm like, man, like nothing's gonna happen for me or like what am I doing? Like I'm wasting my time. And then I'm just like, you know what? Let me just step back and focus on other things and, you know, enjoy other parts of my life, you know, play my game that I like, go on a walk, whatever it is, read that book that I've been planning to read. And then it's like all of a sudden I get like 15 signs. Yeah. That it's like in one day I get like a million different things that point towards my goals. And it's like,
Right.
what the hell? Or like I just get a sign that it's like, you know, you're in the right place. So it's interesting, you
Yeah.
know? And that's another thing. I guess we could tie it in like signs and like patterns,
Yeah.
you know? I
I
feel like
feel
those
like those are important. I feel like every situation I've ever like been in, there's been signs pointing towards what led
mhm,
there. There's always signs.
signs and
Like
patterns.
you'll think about it afterwards and you're like, what the fuck
Yeah.
in the moment?
And
But like
it's
I
like,
always look back and be like, oh my God, wait.
yeah, and like I've definitely had those with like dreams and stuff like that. Like
Oh
I've had
yeah.
these like hyper realistic dreams, I've told you about them,
Hmm.
where it's like, you know, I'm in this like location and I wake up and I'm like, well, what the fuck? But I always remember that dream. And then like a year or so down the line, I'm in that location and I'm like, oh my God. So it's like it, you know, sometimes you just gotta let it simmer for a bit.
Yeah.
So like my manifestations currently, I'm trying to like give it time. I'm trying to be patient with them. I'm
Yeah.
trying to learn how to be patient just in general, especially with those, because it's like when it comes to like the things that I hope for, it tends to take about a year, you know?
Yes.
So it's like these things I started, you know, wishing for towards the end of 2022. So it's like, who knows? Maybe by the end of 2023, I will have, some of the things that I've been hoping for.
Right.
Hopefully, um, hopefully my life is completely different by the end of this year.
Yeah, I'm hoping
I
the
think it
same
will be.
thing.
I think
Yeah.
it will be. I'm in my 12th house profection year, so it's all about death and rebirth, And
Ooh.
man, am I feeling it. Um, I listen, I hate those like posts that are always about like slandering your 23rd year and saying it's like the worst time of your life and stuff like that. And it's like, I know I just got done saying that like I've been having depressive episodes, but I refuse to like claim that. I
Mm.
refuse to claim that because it's like I don't know. I think it's only, this is gonna sound weird, but I think it's only as bad as you let it be, because it's
Mm.
almost like you kind of psych yourself up from that. Like you see those posts or something like that, or people are like, to anyone that turned 23 this year, good luck, and you're like, oh my God, what the fuck does that mean? And then you kind of psych yourself over because then it's like you have one bad day and you're like, oh, this is what they're talking about, the curse of the 23rd year. And then it makes it worse. So it's like every time I've had like an issue, like I've had depression for like more than half my life. This isn't
Yeah.
anything new. This isn't because I turned 23.
Nah, I
But
don't
it's
think there's a
like
23 curse.
no, there's not. And it's like there is truth behind like the 12th house perfection year of like
Yeah.
endings and beginnings and stuff like that. But I'm choosing to believe that, like I wrote this in my journal yesterday, instead of like a death, I'm choosing to believe it's like a cocoon, when like a caterpillar goes into a
Mm.
cocoon. Yes,
It's a
that caterpillar,
transformation.
exactly. Like it stops being a caterpillar. You could interpret the caterpillar dies in order for the butterfly to live. And then it's like
Exactly.
once it's done, it comes out of the shell, not the shell, the
Hmm.
chrysalis, and it's a butterfly.
Well, I feel like
And it's
23
like,
is like the perfect age to like start off like the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Like start
yeah,
forming
I
like
think
where your life is gonna go. Because that's what I'm
yes, and like
hoping when I'm
try to
23, when I'm in your position, that's when I'm gonna start getting more serious about like the
when I'm your
direction.
age,
When I'm your age,
you
old
just made me
lady.
feel 80.
No.
Like we're not even that far in
Me a
age.
year from now. But yeah,
But it's like I definitely agree. I think it's a good time to
to
like
plant the seeds.
plant. You took that right out of my
Yeah,
brain.
I know we're connected that
We're
way.
like telepathically connected, but
Yep.
it's like I feel like it is a great time to start planting the seeds and trying to water them and get started on that. And I am gonna try to do that tomorrow. Literally, I have something planned, and it's like
Ooh.
I'll tell you when we finish.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, and I have been planting seeds and trying my best to just roll with the punches, take it in stride and just, if I'm gonna have to be depressed, at least I'm looking good. Pick my outfit, do my makeup, do my hair, slap on a red lipstick, and get the fuck to work.
We need a pod episode of just your closet, like a tour of all your clothes.
My wardrobe tour.
Yeah,
I have a lot of interesting clothing. I've been
you
thinking of
do.
knitting. I've
Yes.
been thinking of starting to knit because I have a lot of sweaters I want to get, but
Mm.
I never find anything that is
You should
just
try
right.
crocheting first because it's a little easier.
Really?
Yeah, well for me, I think it's easier because it's only one hook. With
Well,
knitting,
I've
you have
been
to do
thinking
two.
well, I've been thinking of doing both.
Yeah, you could do both too.
Yeah, so it's like but I really want to make like I have like ideas and I want to make um scarves and sweaters. And I also want to get back to sewing and
Oh
make my
yeah,
own
me
clothing.
too.
Like I
I'm
was
trying to get
thinking
back
of
into that too.
yeah, like I was thinking of getting back into sewing and like
It's
going.
weird you've been thinking that because I've been thinking that like hardcore. No, yeah, and I've
We are
also been
literally
having little
telepathic.
depressive
Yeah.
episodes too. I feel like, oh, it's
We
always
are
the same.
always connected. Do you remember
You
that one time you like went out drinking and you were
and then
hungover and
you
I
got the
had no
hungover.
alcohol whatsoever and I asked you on a whim. I was like, "Did you drink yesterday?" Or I asked you if you were hungover and you were like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Cuz I feel hungover."
Yep,
Which was it was so weird. Like I literally had hangover symptoms
it's
and I had
crazy.
no alcohol. And you were like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "We are telepathically
We
connected."
are, we are. I
It's
think it's true though,
crazy.
because we're always feeling the same. Because one of us will be feeling
Yeah.
low, and it's like, hey, me
Or like
too.
I you do this like you will text me when I'm thinking about texting you.
Yeah.
Like I will
No,
think
same,
about
same.
texting you a question and you will text me that question.
Yeah, same.
It's weird.
No, it's weird.
Weird and it's funny because like some I forget what sign it is, but somewhere in my chart it says that like I'm fated to be like, connected with an Aquarius and or a Leo. And I'm like, now I just need my Leo, you
Yup,
know.
yup, yup.
Which is funny because I've always gotten along with Aquarians and Leos. Like I have
And there you
so many
go.
Leo friends. I love
I do. I
Leos.
don't get along with Leos at all.
That's really
Leos are my
funny.
enemy.
I love Leos. I love them so much. They like I two of my closest friends are Leos.
That's good.
I mesh with them so well. It might be because I'm a Leo rising.
Maybe.
Sun chart ruler.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
But yeah. Hypotheticals.
Hypotheticals.
Delusions.
Fantasies.
I think being delusional is a little good. I think
I love being delusional. That's my
everything in
favorite thing.
moderation, but I think being a little delusional when it comes to the positive stuff, when it comes to like, hoping the best for you, I've noticed that if you're delusional and you're like, I look hot today,
Then you
and
do.
you do, exactly.
Yeah,
If
it
you
affects
think
you.
it,
Delusions
it does.
actually do come true. Like I feel like when you're delusional, you're more confident, you're more like you can get on with life better. Like I
Yeah,
feel like
it kind
when
of
I've
helps
been less
you.
delusional, I don't feel like I can do things.
Yeah, like it kind of helps you get out of your head a little bit,
Yeah, by being
ironically.
in your head.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's really funny because it's like if you're like, oh no, I'm like the hottest person in here, it kind
Then
of,
you are.
if you say it enough, you kind of start believing it, and then it kind of
Mhm.
takes the
Then everyone
pressure off.
else
You kind of
believes it too.
relax. Yeah, exactly. So it's like be delusional.
Stay hypothetical.
Exactly. Stay hoping for the best.
Yeah, manifest good
Manifest.
things.
Get
Yes.
that journal out and manifest. We love
Mm-hmm.
you.
We love you. Bye, bye, bye.
Bye.